What's going on, guys? This is Chris with Azrael's Pit Barbecue. Welcome to episode 2 of our Road to Brisket series. If you saw episode 1, we did a very nice brisket using the AmazingRibs.com method and recipe. We did some injections, we had a rub, and it took longer to cook than I had anticipated. But we learned a lesson on that cook. I learned a way to actually get my pit to run a little lower temperature than I'm accustomed to, and boy howdy is that going to come into play today. On this cook, you're going to see here in a moment a 21.5 pound brisket. This thing is a beast, and the good news is we're going to do this as simply as possible using a Texas style recipe from none other Aaron Franklin of Franklin Barbecue. I will post in the description section below a link to that video and a link to his book. So we're going to jump straight into it. Let's check out this brisket. Look at this beast, 21 pounds. I tell you what, this cow put up a fight, man. It got some pretty gnarly cuts in here, got split up in here. Lots of trimming to do on this thing. Big decal here. So we got a little bit of work to do. Now we are just straight trimming this up. It's going to go straight in back into the fridge. From a seasoning standpoint, we're going with the Dalmatian rub, which we will be applying sometime between midnight and 1 a.m., which is about 6 hours from now. So let's get this trim out going, and let's take a look at what we got here once we clean this brisket up. Okay guys, I pulled off about 4 pounds of trim here. There's still some pretty big chunks of fat back on this side. Got obviously I got this fat here where the point and the flat are coming together. Kind of looking at this thing, so we're still about 17 pounds. I've decided to go ahead and leave a lot of fat that I would normally try to clean off because this is going to be a long cook. Anticipating this to be about a 16-hour cook. So I'm going to leave a lot of fat on here. If people need to pull fat off tomorrow, so be it. I'm going to clean up these little dirty spots here a little bit, and we'll be good to go. One thing we were looking at is this side of the flat is pretty thick, and this side of the flat is really, really thin. So we're going to slice this way up till we get, we'll kind of slice up to this point, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do with this side. And we may take this stuff from this area here, this little wedge. We may actually chop that up because this is definitely going to get overcooked. And, you look at that thinness versus that thickness and even that thickness. This is definitely going to get overdone. So what we may very well do is do a cut. This becomes chopped. This becomes slices. And then we'll get into what we're going to do with this point here. So to be honest with you, I'm really not going to do much more with this. I think that's about it. So we'll see you in the morning, or the next time you see us, it'll be in the morning. We're going to throw some Dalmatian rub on this thing and cook her up. Stick around. All right, guys, we are back. It's about 12:40 a.m. officially. Sunday morning, Labor Day weekend. Pit is lit. Got the brisket back out. I tell you what, man, we ended up trimming about 5 pounds off of this thing. It's now sitting around 16 some odd pounds. Still qualifies as the largest brisket raw weight I've ever cooked. I think the largest one I've ever bought was around 16 pounds, and that was before trim. So, whoa, this thing's huge. And there's still a massive amount of fat in here. So, we're just going to run with it. And the nice thing is, we're pretty much going to season it and go straight to the pit. Seasoning wise, again, we're doing this Aaron Franklin Texas style, and it consists of salt and pepper. That's it. We're not going to put any type of binder on this. We are not going to, we didn't dry brine this. We're not injecting this. This is a straight up Dalmatian rub. And I'm going to start with about 1/2 cup each, equal parts. Now, Aaron uses, in his video, kosher salt. Obviously, that's a favorite. I really like working with sea salt, so we're going to do that. Now, I may be making way too much, but this thing's just so big, we're going for it. So, we'll mix this up. We're going to season this brisket, and we're going to get to cooking here in about 20 minutes or so. Okay guys, so just like last time, I'm going to go fat side down, point side to my firebox. Now, Mr. Aaron Franklin had his set up, fat side up, point side to the firebox, and I think he and I can both agree, it's just a matter of preference. He was not cooking on a reverse flow, and I am. So, it's right about 1 a.m. We are exactly on time. Start the clocks. I'm hoping for 16 hours. Mr. Steve Woods, a friend on Facebook who's also a barbecue stick burner up in Kansas City, he says 20 plus hours. Of course, he was talking about the raw weight at the time, 21.5 pounds. I'm talking our current weight, just a little over 16 pounds. I think my estimate is right. Here's hoping. Got my temperature just sitting at a little over, well, it's dropped a little bit now, but it was just under 250. Just put a big old hunk of meat on there. We're gonna let that coast down. We're cooking with hickory. See you in about 16 hours. All right, guys, we are at the 8-hour mark. Our theoretical halfway point on the cook. I tell you what, throughout the course of the night, there was some breeze, and there was no breeze, and there was some breeze. Had a little bit of struggle with the fire. Temp is solid at 225 right now, which is kind of where we want it to be. Could go up just a touch. We're going to take a look at this brisket, see how we're doing. Well, that sure is pretty. I think we're starting to get it sweating good. Take some temperature readings. Feels nice and stiff. Sitting around the 150s there. Same. Point's a little bit warmer. I think I'm going to flip her around. And I don't think we want to wrap just yet. So I'm going to flip this over and we'll keep on cooking. Alright guys, we are finally done. It has been 19 hours with the rest. 20 hours total if you consider that I fired up the pit at about 12:15 this morning. However, we're done for whatever it's worth. Let's check this thing out, see what we got. Okay guys, here you go. We've got this brisket. Remember, this is 21.5 pounds when it was original raw weight out of the package. We trimmed it down to just a little over 16 pounds, and you can see how much this thing has shrunk up, but it's still pretty big, almost too big for my cutting board. Got quite the bark going on here. See a little pieces that are a little crusty, and I think it's okay. Again, just like before, not a whole lot of movement here, and we got this really thin part down here that we knew we were going to have. I'm going to be slicing this way, the flat, of course, coming up to here, my point coming up underneath. So we're going to take it up to about here, and this time we're actually going to cut this point and the flat together. So we'll cut up to here and turn it. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to go ahead and separate this here now so I can have a little more room to work with. So the first cut, let's see what we got. Let's see if I can get this up here. That's beautiful. Look at that smoke ring, so nice. Let me get this off out of my way. Maybe. So you can clearly see where the flat is coming up. This is actually the point side. We're looking at the flat here. That is pretty nice looking. We're going to slice it from here. Let's see what we got. We'll just take this end off. Got a pretty good little bend. Check this out. That is a pretty decent pull. It is almost that's pretty good. I was going to say it was almost a little dry, but I think it's pretty nice, to be honest with you. The bark is a little bit more significant this time than it has been in the past, which is nice. That's what you get for a nice long cook, I suppose. And it's a little tougher to cut through, but I think it's going to add some really interesting texture. And look, oh wow, that just fell out. Look at that smoke ring. That was beautiful. Oh wow. That's not dry. That's not dry at all. Alright, let me slice this out. You know, I was concerned about this thinner side here. I'm going to make these a little thicker. I think that's going to be okay. We were concerned about that smaller taper, but I think it's actually alright. Look at that. Let's check out this point side real quick. Woo, hot. You know what? We'll just save these pieces over here. That's chef's snack, right? Now, the point side, this is the end of our flat. The point side was concerning to me. There's a lot of fat. I'm not even going to mess around. We're just taking that right off. I knew there was a big old chunk of fat left in there. But for those who might like a little fatty, that's pretty nice. Look at that. So what do we do with that? You guessed. Some big old chunks. Okay. Now we're going to take this right down the middle. Separate that out. Let's see what we got here. Ooh, my gosh. So again, this is the end of our flat. This is that point. Wow, this is almost overcooked, man. It's almost falling apart. That is insanely tender. Look at that rendered out fat there. You know, I said I was just going to slice this off, but I got to be honest with you. I think these are going to have to make some more burnt ends. And since no cook is complete without testing, that is rather delicious. So let's wrap this up. Well, guys, there you have it. The Aaron Franklin of Franklin Barbecue Texas style brisket. Remember, this was just straight up salt and pepper. a lot of time and a lot of wood. We did pretty much the entire cook on hickory. We did wrap it in butcher paper, and then we ended up going the rest of the way with some pecan, and we did make Aaron's Texas style barbecue sauce. I personally am not going to need it. I'll try it, I guess, but you know, some people just gotta have sauce. Remember, I will put links to this cook in the description below, to Aaron Franklin's video, also to his book. In the meantime, we're going to get down on this brisket that we spent 19 hours getting together, and we're going to have a good rest of our Labor Day weekend. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, comment below if you thought it sucked, or we don't know what we're talking about, or if you liked it. We want to hear from you either way, so please comment below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more cooks like this in the future right here at Azrael's Pit Barbecue. Keep that smoke rolling, and we'll see you later. Boom.